The galaxy was a vast hunting ground. For countless millennia, the Varkari Dominion had ruled as apex predators, ruthless, efficient, and unchallenged. Their sleek, scaled forms and piercing eyes were symbols of a cruel order built on survival of the fittest. Planets bowed, fleets submitted, and the word dominate was a creed etched into every Varkari soul. Commander Sorek stood on the bridge of the scout frigate Karzak, eyes narrowing on the console. "Signals detected," he growled in his guttural tongue, voice cold and precise. "From the outer spiral arm, coordinates, Sol system." The crew watched nervously. A quiet buzz filled the ship, excited but restrained. It was rare to find a new system untouched, unclaimed. Yet the readings showed something unexpected, a planet brimming with electromagnetic chaos. Sorek's translator chimed. Visual scans confirm a complex biosphere, planetary atmosphere rich in oxygen, diverse ecosystems, and signs of civilization. Primitive, but active. "Humans," the science officer muttered, eyes wide. "Primitive mammals, emerging from nuclear fire." A snort echoed from Sorek. "Primitive is good. Easy prey for the apex chain." Back on Earth, the signal had not gone unnoticed. The sudden intrusion of alien surveillance disrupted communications, stirring unease among the unified Earth Council. Captain Helena Ruiz swiped through her console, reviewing the incoming data feeds. A sharp mind, tempered by years of military service and a dry sense of humor, she muttered, "So, we're on some alien radar now. Great. Probably the galactic equivalent of a backyard barbecue snoop." Her team chuckled quietly. They were an eclectic mix, scientists, ex-soldiers, hackers, brought together by a singular goal: keep Earth safe and, if possible, not get eaten. Dr. Osei Mensah tapped into the deep learning AI core, a digital labyrinth born from human chaos and creativity. "We have one advantage," he said, eyes gleaming behind thick glasses. "Our AI doesn't run on rigid logic. It learns from memes, jokes, emotions. The kind of unpredictability these Dominion hunters can't process." Helena leaned in. "Use it. Turn their own network against them." The Varkari Dominion sent their first skirmishers, 3 sleek corvettes tasked with a simple test of strength. They descended near Jupiter, confident in their superiority. But when the corvettes launched their boarding drones, something went wrong. One by one, the ships vanished without a trace, swallowed by the void. On board the Karzak, alarms blared. Unknown interference. Communications scrambled. Sorek barked. "Deploy recon drones. Find those ships." Minutes later, a lone drone surfaced with a message coded in jagged human script: "Not prey. Not predators." Something new. Sorek's jaw tightened. The Dominion had met its first mystery. In a dimly lit underground bunker beneath the ruins of old New York, Helena and her team celebrated their first victory with cautious smiles. "Looks like your AI jazz hack actually worked," she said, sipping a recycled coffee blend. Raj Patel, a systems engineer with a grin that never quit, cracked his knuckles. "Told you. You can't program chaos, but you can weaponize it." Osei nodded thoughtfully. "The Varkari think in absolutes. Kill or be killed. They expect linear reactions. We're a storm. They don't know how to read the weather." Helena smiled, but her mind was already racing. "Good. But this is just a spark. If they send reinforcements, Earth isn't ready for war." Meanwhile, Commander Sorek paced the deck of his flagship, wrestling with a new problem. His soldiers, the apex hunters, were not just facing resistance. They were facing adaptation. Every human encounter was teaching them something new. Humans shifted tactics mid-fight, used technology in ways that made no sense on paper. "Why does their unpredictability unsettle me?" he whispered to his lieutenant. "Because they refuse to be hunted like prey," the young officer replied. "They fight like, like they want to rewrite the rules. Sorek's eyes flickered. Then we are no longer Apex. We are just another link in a chain that can be broken. The first contact battle was brief but intense. Human orbital forces used repurposed mining lasers and kinetic projectiles, striking at vulnerable points in the Dominion fleet. Human fighters darted unpredictably, exploiting every flaw. And the Varkari Dominion, confident and brutal, found themselves outmaneuvered by a species they deemed weak and fractured. Helena watched from Earth's orbital command center, fingers clenched. Let's remind them humans don't surrender. A hacker's voice buzzed in her ear. Commander, you might want to see this. On the screen, the Varkari ships shuddered as their own AI turned on them, flickering, confused. The source? A human virus coded from internet chaos, viral videos, and cat memes, woven into the fabric of alien software. Helena chuckled. Guess it's true. Laughter really is the best medicine for chaos. The aftermath was a lesson etched in cold reality. Sorek sent a message to High Command, unthinkable in Varkari culture, a request for reinforcements and strategic reassessment. The Dominion's leaders scoffed. Apex predators did not ask for help. Apex predators crushed chaos. But Sorek knew better now. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the team braced for the next wave, ready to prove that the galaxy's greatest hunters had never met anything like humanity. Because humanity was not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most ruthless, but it was the unpredictable force that could change everything. The Varkari Dominion had learned a hard lesson. Humans were not their usual prey. So they doubled down. They sent a small armada, sleek corvettes and frigates designed for swift domination, expecting to snuff out resistance like a flickering candle. But Earth's defenders had other plans. Captain Helena Ruiz sat at the helm of the orbital command center, her eyes scanning the constellation of incoming ships. "They think this is going to be a walk in the park," she muttered, half amused, half grim. Her crew, a patchwork team of engineers, tacticians, and hackers, prepared for what they called Project Backfire, a messy, chaotic defense crafted from Earth's grit and ingenuity. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Raj Patel, grinned as he twirled a tiny circuit board between his fingers. "We're about to turn their perfect little fleet into scrap." Ruiz smirked. "Let's see if their Apex Predator claws can handle some lunar railguns and space dust." The first strike, guerrilla warfare in orbit. The Varkari fleet slipped into the solar system's outer edge, confident in their technology and strategy. Their sensors were sharp, their weapons precise. But they didn't anticipate a battlefield shaped by human unpredictability. Earth's defenses weren't grand or elegant, they were improvised and brutal. Lunar mining lasers repurposed as orbital cannons. Satellites hacked to create dazzling, disorienting light shows that scrambled targeting systems. Asteroid fragments reprogrammed as deadly kinetic projectiles. The first salvo hit like a thunderclap. Varkari frigates exploded as unexpected bursts of debris tore through their hulls. Their advanced AI struggled to adapt to the chaotic barrage. Signals scrambled, data corrupted. On board the Karzak, Commander Sorek watched in disbelief as his fleet faltered. They fight like wild dogs. Unpredictable. Untamed. Boarding the beast. Meanwhile, Helena planned a daring move, a stealth boarding party to infiltrate a Varkari corvette and steal critical navigation tech. She led the elite team herself, veterans who understood one thing above all: when outgunned, ingenuity was survival. The mission was razor-thin in margin. The corvette was a fortress of scaled warriors, biological weapons, and brutal combat protocols. Under the cover of darkness, the humans breached the hull. They moved fast, silent, and precise, hacking doors, disabling sentry bots, and bypassing alien security. Inside the bowels of the ship, Helena's team found the navigation core, a complex mesh of organic and synthetic tech. Raj's fingers danced across a hacked interface, extracting data that could turn the tide. As they prepared to leave, they triggered an ancient biological failsafe, a pod releasing a pheromone cloud. But this was no ordinary toxin. It was a human decoy, a nanotech nuke disguised as a mating signal. The humans slipped away just as the pod detonated, sending corrosive nanites flooding the Corvette systems, crippling vital controls. Jazz and jamming, the tactical gambit. Back at Earth's orbital command, Raj Patel orchestrated a different kind of warfare, jamming the Valkyrie tactical communications. His weapon? An algorithm encoding jazz improvisations, packed with unpredictable syncopations and chaotic rhythms. The Valkyrie AI, wired for order and structure, was overwhelmed. Imagine trying to run a military fleet when your commands are interrupted by bebop, Raj explained to Helena. It's like trying to herd cats with a chainsaw. The Valkyrie fleet began fracturing, orders conflicting and fleets drifting apart. The once monolithic armada was breaking apart under the weight of human chaos. The apex hunter questioned. On board the Karzak, Commander Sorek faced his darkest doubts. The apex doctrine, Valkyrie's unbreakable belief in their superiority, was cracking. He called his trusted lieutenant aside. "How do we fight a storm? We hunt storms." "But storms are unpredictable," the lieutenant argued. "Exactly," Sorek growled. "We adapt or we die." His request for reinforcements was an act of desperation, but also the first crack in Valkyrie hubris. A culture clash in the stars. On Earth, the defense team gathered for debriefing. Helena watched her crew, soldiers, scientists, engineers, each of them embodying a unity born of struggle. "We're fighting more than ships," she said quietly. "We're fighting an idea that strength means domination." Dr. Osei Mensah nodded, pulling up scans of the Valkyrie psyche. "Their culture is a cage of certainty. But our unpredictability? It's freedom. That's what unsettles them most." Helena smiled wryly. "Maybe they don't understand that humans aren't animals to be hunted. We're improvisers, creators. And sometimes chaos is our best weapon. Emotional underpinnings, bonds in chaos." Raj clapped Helena on the back. "Hey, Captain, you know why they don't get us?" "Why?" "Because while they plan perfection, we plan to surprise. And we trust each other enough to roll with it." That trust, an intangible, unbreakable bond, was humanity's true strength. Helena thought of her multinational crew, the jokes, the shared risks, the moments of quiet amid chaos. She realized then that this battle wasn't just for survival, it was for the soul of humanity itself. A galaxy watching. Far beyond Earth, news of the conflict spread like wildfire. Other species whispered in the shadows, some with envy, others with fear. The Valkyrie were no longer the untouchable hunters. Humanity was a wild card, a force that couldn't be calculated or controlled. The galactic balance had shifted. Closing scene, a cautious victory. As the battered Valkyrie fleet limped from the system, Sorek sent a cryptic message to the Dominion. "The humans are not prey. They are a storm." Helena watched the stars, exhaustion heavy but spirit unbroken. "We've shown them what humans can do when cornered," she said softly. "But this is just the beginning." Raj grinned. "Good thing we love a good fight." The aftermath of the first skirmishes sent shockwaves through the Valkyrie Dominion. What had begun as an easy hunt had spiraled into a nightmare of unpredictable human resistance. Now the Dominion's High Council faced a grim decision: escalate the war or seek uneasy diplomacy. But within the ranks of the Valkyrie commanders, a deeper fear had begun to fester, an existential dread of a species that refused to be tamed. The Valkyrie High Council. In the imposing throne chamber of the Dominion's capital ship, the High Council gathered. Clad in ceremonial armor crafted from the carapaces of ancient prey, the elders exuded a mixture of arrogance and unease. Chancellor Zarvek, the dominant voice, slammed his clawed fist on the table. These humans are aberrations. They fight with madness and chaos, unlike anything we have faced. Our strategies have failed. A younger counselor hissed, "We must unleash the full fleet. Crush them before they learn more." Zarvek shook his head. "No. We risk everything with a reckless war. They grow stronger with every encounter. We must understand them before they outpace us." A human spy in the shadows. Meanwhile, Earth's defenses buzzed with tension. Rumors swirled that the Varkari were preparing a new, devastating weapon. Helena's intelligence officers intercepted whispers of a secret research station deep in Varkari space. To counter this, Helena authorized a risky covert operation. Her team included Captain Elias Kane, a former special ops leader with nerves of steel, and Dr. Lila Chen, a brilliant xenobiologist fascinated by Varkari biology. They slipped through enemy lines aboard a stolen Varkari stealth scout, navigating alien space with a combination of human intuition and stolen Varkari tech. Into the Predator's den. The mission was a high-stakes gambit. Inside the shadowy corridors of the research station, Kane and Chen uncovered the truth. The Varkari were developing a bioengineered weapon, an organic predator enhanced with both technology and genetic manipulation, designed to hunt humans with ruthless efficiency. The weapon was horrifying. A massive, chitin-plated beast with adaptive camouflage, capable of analyzing and countering human tactics on the fly. Chen whispered, "They've taken the Apex Chain's hunger and weaponized it. This creature is the embodiment of their empire's darkest instincts." Kane nodded grimly. "If they unleash this, Earth doesn't stand a chance." The human edge, adaptation and ingenuity. Back on Earth, Helena's team worked feverishly. Using data from the covert operation, they reverse-engineered a countermeasure, a nanotech disruptor designed to interfere with the Predator's biosignatures and sensory systems. But the tech was untested, dangerous even to their own. "Sometimes," Helena mused, "to beat a monster, you have to become the monster." The clash of philosophies. In diplomatic backchannels, the Varkari sent envoys proposing talks, but their terms were harsh. Humans must submit or be destroyed. Human Ambassador Maria Vasquez, a seasoned diplomat known for her steely resolve and biting wit, met with the Varkari delegation. When the council demanded human surrender, Maria's reply was sharp and clear: "We will never bow. You mistake our resilience for weakness. We are not your prey, we are your reckoning." The standoff was a collision of cultures, domination versus freedom, order versus chaos. Emotional depth, bonds tested. As the shadow of war loomed larger, Helena's team grappled with personal fears and sacrifices. Captain Kane, hardened by missions past, revealed to Chen his haunted past. Friends lost to Varkari raids, family torn apart by Empire's expansion. Chen, driven by scientific curiosity and a fierce protective instinct, shared her own doubts. Was humanity ready for this fight? Could they survive the monster they were about to unleash? Their camaraderie deepened as they faced an uncertain future, a reminder that even in war, hope and human connection endured. Tactical showdown. The hunt begins. The final act of the chapter was a brutal encounter in the asteroid belts near Jupiter. The bioengineered Predator struck with terrifying speed and precision, decimating outposts and ships alike. Helena coordinated a desperate defense, deploying the nanotech disruptors and drawing on human creativity to outthink the beast. In the heat of battle, human pilots used unpredictable maneuvers, feints, and coordinated strikes to confuse and trap the creature. The Predator, formidable and relentless, was finally subdued, wounded but alive, a symbol of the Varkari's hubris and the limits of Apex power. World building. The galaxy's new reality. News of the battle rippled across the galactic community. Species once intimidated by the Varkari watched in awe as humans fought not with raw strength, but with resilience, cunning, and unyielding spirit. The Dominion was forced to reconsider its doctrine. Apex Predator was no longer a title earned by domination alone. It was challenged by the wild unpredictability of a species born in chaos. Closing scene, A New Dawn. Helena stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, watching the battered but defiant fleet. She thought of the long road ahead. "We didn't just survive," she said quietly. "We sent a message. The galaxy isn't theirs to hunt anymore." Raj leaned in, eyes twinkling with mischief. "They'll have to learn to fear the storm." As Earth prepared for the battles to come, one truth was clear: humanity was no longer the hunted. Humanity was the hunt. The galaxy had shifted. The mighty Varkari Dominion, once invincible hunters, now faced a force unlike any other. Humanity, a species born of chaos, ingenuity, and relentless spirit. The final confrontation loomed, a battle not just for survival, but for the future of every sentient race under the stars. The calm before the storm. Captain Helena Ruiz stood on the bridge of the USS Resolute, Earth's most advanced warship, orbiting a distant system on the edge of Varkari space. Her face was hard, determined, yet tinged with the weight of leadership. Beside her, Lieutenant Raj Patel was running final simulations of their strike plan, a complex tapestry of diversion, assault, and tactical deception. "Everyone thinks war is about power," Helena said quietly. "But sometimes it's about making the enemy believe you're unstoppable." Raj grinned. "Good thing humans are excellent at bluffing." The crew, a melting pot of cultures and expertise, prepared for the greatest test of their lives. The stakes were clear. This battle would decide whether humanity would be a galaxy's footnote or its reckoning. The Varkari's last gambit. The Varkari High Council had thrown everything into the coming conflict. An armada twice the size of anything seen before, including the monstrous bio-engineered predators, the living weapons designed to crush human resistance. Chancellor Zarvek addressed his commanders. "This is our moment. Destroy humanity's heart and scatter their chaos to the void. Only then will the apex chain remain unbroken." Yet even in the Varkari ranks, doubt simmered. Commander Sorek, battle-worn but sharper than ever, spoke to his officers. "We face a storm. We must not only fight it but learn to harness it." The Battle of Syra Prime. The battleground was a lush, resource-rich planet orbiting Syra Prime, critical for both factions' strategic interests. As the Varkari Armada advanced, Earth's fleet used every advantage. Stealth fighters darting like swarms of hornets, orbital mines disguised as debris fields, and cybernetic warfare to cripple enemy communications. The battle erupted in chaos and fury. Helena led a squadron of fighters through the storm of plasma and kinetic fire, coordinating attacks with Raj's adaptive AI support. Their goal: disable the Varkari flagship Dominus Rex, the heart of the enemy command. Human ingenuity unleashed. As the battle raged, the USS Resolute deployed a new weapon, the Quantum Flux Disruptor, a device that bent spacetime in localized bursts, disorienting enemy sensors and destabilizing their ship's power cores. The Dominus Rex shuddered as systems flickered and failed. Varkari crews scrambled, disoriented by a weapon that defied their centuries of tactical training. Helena's voice rang out, "Now, fighters, punch through their lines." In a dazzling display of speed and precision, human pilots exploited every weakness, darting through gaps, feinting retreats, then counterattacking with coordinated strikes. The emotional heart of battle. Amidst the chaos, Helena caught sight of Lieutenant Kara Min, a young pilot who'd lost her family in early Varkari raids. Kara's determination was fierce, but she fought not just for vengeance. She fought for a future where no child would live in fear. Their eyes met across the battle space, a silent promise forged in the fire of war. Back on the Resolute, Raj monitored the battle with sweat on his brow, hacking enemy AI mid-fight, turning their own weapons against them. "Helena," he called, voice urgent, "the flagship's shields are failing. We have a window." "Then let's make it count," she replied. The turning point, breaking the apex chain. With a coordinated strike, the human fleet overwhelmed the Dominus Rex. The flagship rocked violently as critical systems failed. Commander Sorek, fighting on the bridge, realized the inevitable. "This storm is no longer our prey," he growled. "It is the end of the apex chain." As the flagship's hull cracked, Sorek ordered his forces to retreat, signaling the Dominion's first major defeat in centuries. Aftermath: a galaxy reborn. The battle's end was bittersweet. Earth's forces were battered but victorious. The Varkari Dominion retreated into the shadows, its empire fractured and humbled. In the quiet after the storm, Helena addressed her crew and the world. "We faced impossible odds. We fought not because we were the strongest, but because we refused to be broken. This victory is a testament to human spirit, creativity, and the power of unity." Her words resonated across star systems, inspiring allies and shaking foes. Cultural shift and new alliances. With the Varkari retreat, other galactic powers began to rethink their place in the cosmos. Some sought alliance with humanity, eager to join a force that had redefined strength. The Galactic Council convened to discuss a new order, one where cooperation and unpredictability challenged the old ways of domination. Ambassador Maria Vasquez, representing Earth, stood firm: "The era of predators is over. The galaxy belongs to those who adapt, innovate, and fight with heart." Closing emotional beats: humanity's true power. As the stars shone brightly over a changed galaxy, Helena looked toward Earth, where families watched the victory broadcast with pride. She thought of her crew, of friends lost and battles won. "We showed the universe that humanity isn't just prey or predator. We're the storm that changes the game." Raj smiled beside her. "And storms, well, they're hard to predict." The galaxy had learned that lesson the hard way.